Silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring, soon it will be Christmas Day. City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you'll hear silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring, soon it will be Christmas Day. Strings of street lights, even stoplights, blink a bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch, this is Santa's big scene, and above all the bustle you'll hear silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring, soon it will be Christmas Day. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Well, how's everybody doing? Here it is Friday again, and time just seems to be flying by. Before we know it, it'll be 2019. And for those of us born mid-century in the last century, that's a little scary. Alrighty, well, I just sang the song Silver Bells, so I thought I'd share with you a little of the history of that song, for those of you that don't know. In 1951, Bob Hope was one of the world's brightest stars. His name not only guaranteed big box office response at movie theaters, he was already a longtime radio star and had made a successful move to television. Beloved for his selfless work with the USO and tours he did in World War II and then Korea, Hope was Mr. Christmas to many members of the United States Armed Forces, even though he had never scored a hit with a Christmas song. From 1942 on, Bob spent every holiday season with the men and women in uniform. Paramount Pictures scheduled Hope to film a remake of the movie The Lemon Drop Kid, a perfect vehicle for his trademark humor. In the film, Hope would play a small-time gangster who owed a large sum of money to the mob. Unable to pay it off, the kid would work a scam. In the midst of trying to con the cons, Bob's character would fall in love, reform, and escape a large number of near-fatal attacks. Of course, Hope would also find time to sing a song or two. With the cast of great characters surrounding the star, the cast and the film crew began work in early 1951. Livingston and Evans, the songwriting duo, who had put together the wonderful score for Hope's box office smash Paleface, were called in to write the score for The Lemon Drop Kid. As they reviewed the script, they noted it was a holiday movie with a new twist. Holiday Inn, Christmas in Connecticut, and a long list of other films had always been set in the country. Now, for the first time in Hollywood history, songwriters were being asked to come up with a Christmas number that didn't embrace the pleasures of rural life during the holidays. It was a perspective American movies and songs had yet to explore. After determining where the music was needed, the songwriters had a brainstorming session in Evans' office. As they discussed the script, one of the men picked up a small silver bell and played with it. The tiny noisemaker magically transported the writers to the sidewalks of New York City. I'm just going to move this light here because it's shining in my eyes. There we go. Where was I? To the sidewalks of New York. As they began to think about the way streets and display windows were decorated, the attitudes of happy store managers and anxious shoppers, and the looks on expectant children's faces, the song they needed for Bob Hope and co-star Marilyn Maxwell's duet quickly came together. The team had been writing hits long enough to know when they had one, so Livingston and Evans couldn't wait to take their latest work to the studio. But before the duo could share their latest composition with Bob Hope, they decided to sing it to Ray's wife. The men were chagrined and confused when the woman giggled as they sang. As she doubled over in laughter, the team wondered what had gone wrong. When Mrs. Evans composed herself, she informed the duo that the chorus was all wrong. It wouldn't work. She pointed out that when others heard it, they would laugh as hard as she had. She assured them, no, the words wouldn't work. The song's problem could be traced to the small bell that served as its inspiration. Livingston and Evans had named their song after the tiny instrument, and the song began, "Tinker Bell, Tinker Bell, it's Christmas time in the city." As the writers once again listened to the words, they grinned along with Mrs. Evans. They quickly crossed out the word tinker and substituted the word silver. When released, The Lemon Drop Kid was a moderately successful movie, yet the film would have probably been quickly forgotten if not for the song, Silver Bells. Film patrons fell in love with it. This new genre of Christmas song fit well in with the new America. After World War II, Americans had moved to urban areas in droves. This migration meant that more and more people were experiencing the bustle of the holidays in cities than ever before. Livingston and Evans' unadorned description of everything from stoplights blinking red and green, the yellow caution light had yet to be added, to thousands of shoppers rushing from store to store, struck a chord with millions who were exposed to those things every day. The bells that anchored the chorus were everywhere too. They rang in cathedral towers, jingling along on horse-drawn carriages, and were constantly chiming in the hands of men and women seeking donations to help feed the poor and needy. In the city, bells, much more than anything else, signaled the coming of the holiday season. Silver Bells truly captured this experience in song. Bob Hope may have introduced Silver Bells to the world, but it was his friend, Bing Crosby, who cashed in on the song's market potential. Bing recorded the hit version of the Livingston-Evans collaboration, and soon everyone else seemed to be recording the hit too. When President John F. Kennedy declared it to be his favorite Christmas song, Silver Bells rang out loudly in the White House. By the year 2000, hundreds of different versions of the song had rung up more than 150 million record sales, proving that JFK wasn't the only one who embraced this sentimental holiday offering as a favorite. After completing The Lemon Drop Kid, Bob Hope continued to sing Silver Bells to the U.S. troops at Christmas for more than 4 decades. His work in Vietnam and other combat arenas helped make him the most honored private citizen in the United States. Hope's holiday entertainment junkets to the far parts of the globe also earned him the label of the GI's Santa Claus. Though they could have retired and lived on the royalties from their Christmas hit, Jay Livingston and Ray Evans continued to write. In 1956, they won their 3rd Oscar for Que Sera, Sera, and scored again with the title song from Tammy. Yet it was the theme song for a very unique television series that ranks right up there along with Silver Bells as their most remembered work. The same writing duo that composed the incomparable Mona Lisa and incredible Silver Bells also gave the world the whimsical and silly theme from Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course. of course. And there we have it. So that's the history behind the Christmas song Silver Bells. And now, the groaner of the week. Well, what name should we come up with? I almost said Mrs. Livington, but we don't want to besmirch that name, do we, after just reading the story I read. So we'll just say it was Mrs. Jones and her teenage daughter, Melissa, were getting rather concerned as Melissa became more and more ill. And so, of course, doing the thing any good mother would do, Mrs. Jones took Melissa to the doctor. And the doctor gave her a thorough examination, did blood workup and a bunch of other tests, and called them back to the office a few days later and said, well, Mrs. Jones, the reason Melissa is gaining weight and has been ill is because she's pregnant. And Mrs. Jones said, what? No, there's no way. She can't be pregnant. There's just absolutely no way. Melissa has never even been with a man. Have you, sweetheart? And Melissa very innocently sits there and goes, oh no, mother, never. I've never even kissed a boy. And the doctor goes, oh. And he wanders over to the window and takes the cord and raises his Venetian blinds. And he stands there looking out the window with great interest on his face. And finally, after a few minutes of silence, Mrs. Jones walks over to the doctor and says, is there something happening out there? And he goes, well, not yet. And she says, well, what do you mean not yet? And he says, well, the last time I recall reading about an instance like this, a star appeared in the east, and 3 wise men came over the hill. And I'm not going to miss it this time. Oh, bad joke, so we'll leave it with that. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed, and now you know the story behind the lovely song Silver Bells. So have a wonderful weekend, and take care. God bless. We'll see you on Tuesday.